For exercise 3 of chapter 2, we are going to calculate the distance between 2 points and then represent it graphically using the turtle module in Python. So first we are going to open the code as we are doing with all the exercises using the PyCharm IDE. So here is the code that we have. So let's see how this code works and what we expect it to do. So first of all, we are going to import the turtle module since we need it to represent graphically our program. Then we are going to prompt the user for inputting 2 points of his or her choice. So as you know, each point has 2 coordinates, an x coordinate and a y coordinate. And here, instead of asking the user for different values, we are going to ask the users to input 2 values at the same time. So in order to assign for the first point x1 and y1 the coordinates at the same time, what we can do is simply write the variables separated by commas and then equal. So now with this syntax right here, Python understands that it needs to assign values for both x1 and y1. And here we start with the syntax eval parenthesis input parenthesis. Here we write a string of characters in order to indicate to our user what must be done, and we close both parentheses. So when this line of code will be run in Python, it will prompt the user to give an input for both x1 and y1. So basically what the user will do is, for example, write 3, 2, which will be x1 equals 3 and y1 equal 2. The same goes on for the second point. And once this is done, we now have the coordinates for point number 1 and point number 2. For this part, we now have to calculate the distance, which is given by the formula x1 minus x2 power 2, and the power is represented by a double star, and plus y1 minus y2 power 2, so a parenthesis here to make sure that all of this expression is taken to power of 2, as well as for here, and a parenthesis prior to that so that all of this is taken to the power 0.5, or if you want, square root. Now, the square root function does exist in Python, but we will see it later on when we study the math module together in the next chapter. And once we have calculated the distance, we need to return to our user the result. And since we are going to do that graphically, that's where Turtle is going to come in handy. First thing first, we are going to draw a line between point 1 and point 2. And in order to do so, as soon as Turtle starts, we need to rise our pen. So the pen needs to be up in order for us to go to the coordinate of the first point without drawing a line from the center where the turtle cursor is originally until point 1. So we raise the pen. Once the pen is raised, since we want to draw from x1 to y1, we will put the pen down once again. So here, if you see turtle go to, we have to mention the coordinates, and that's how we chose the coordinates of point number 1. Now, once the pen has been put down, we can go directly to the second point, but first we are going to write a text on the first point, and using the write function in the turtle module, we are going to write between quotations the string character point 1, which indicates that this is the first point. Then when we write go to x2, y2, since the pen is down, there will be a line that will be drawn from x2 to y2. And then we also want to point that this is the second point that we have that has been input by the user. So we will also use the turtle write point 2. Now that this has been done, we want to move to the center of the line in order to write the distance, okay, the value of the distance. And in order to do so, we need to go to x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2, meaning right at the center of the line. But since we do not want to redraw anything from point 2 to the center, we need to raise the pen right here. And once we go to x1 plus x2 over 2, we can write the distance. And here, as you can see, here it's the variable that is going to be written, not a series of characters between quotes. And as you can see, the write function is not affected by the pen up or pen down because we are specifically saying that something must be written. So it does not matter whether the pen is up or down. There is no ambiguity there. And once we finish, we are also going to add the turtle dot done with parentheses in order to make sure we remain in the loop. So we remain with the turtle window open until we decide to close it, or more appropriately, until the user decides to close it. So now we are going to run this program by going to File and open it in a new project. So now that our program is open, we are going to run it and we are going to do a test to see exactly what happens. So here I'm going to choose for the first point minus 150 and minus 100 for the coordinate of the first one. And for the second, I'm going to choose 150 and 170. And I run it. So you see here it has been run like this. And here is what you get. This is point 1, this is point 2, and this is where we are in the middle with the value of the distance. So you see, not only was I able to compute the distance, but I was able to represent it, and very quickly. That's the advantage of using Turtle, and that's the power of the Turtle module in Python, representing things pretty easily. So hope you enjoyed this tutorial so far, and I'll see you in the next videos.